parts have come in, so I'm going to get back into that Hitachi CP90TW, which was the tuner for the CP900. Now, I'd like to be able to work on all of them right now, but unfortunately, well, you'll see. We're going to talk about this right at the beginning. Canada Post let me down, and it's now creating a major delay. But I got one part in, so we're going to see if we can get this tuner working. I got this apology from Canada Post Corporation. Dear customer, we sincerely regret that your mail is damaged. It was found in this condition in the mail stream. We realize your mail is important to you, and we are always concerned when mail entrusted to our care is damaged. We continue to improve our processing method to help reduce the occurrences of mail damages in our system. And, well, this was parts I ordered. Parts I ordered to fix that Hitachi Ghetto Blaster with the two separate, like, Walkman type players and the radio. What arrived was the envelope. It was like it got ripped in half, and all that's in here is the IC for this. And it looks like there was other things taped in here, but they're gone. The belts are all gone. There were 6 belts that I ordered, gone. I contacted KP Components about that, and he's going to ship me new belts. The problem is, well, he did ship me new belts. The problem is the post office is now on strike, so we might not see them for a while. So I figured what I would do is, this is the radio. The radio had the IC with the hole burned in it. I think maybe we'll try to fix this part now, see if we can get the radio tuner working. And, well, that'll be one thing less that I have to fix when the belts actually arrive, if they ever arrive. At this point, I'm not holding my breath because, as they say, the post office is on strike. They're not going to be going back anytime soon, I don't think. I think they might be out for a while. I hope they're not out for a while, but I just get the gut feeling that the sides they're so far apart that unless the government orders them back to work, I think we may be waiting a while to get our postal service back and running again. And really, as far as dealing with getting parts and so forth, the post office is really the only way I could do it. I couldn't justify ordering parts and having to pay $30 or $35 in shipping, which is what FedEx would charge to get a $5 part. Customers aren't going to pay it. Like, shipping by post is bad enough. It's like, I think it's $5 to ship it by post, but shipping by other carriers is much more costly. Just saying. So we'll have to be waiting to get our parts that we have to order until the post office goes back to work, and who knows when that's going to be. Hopefully they'll go back to work soon, but I seriously doubt it. They walked out last fall before Christmas, and they were ordered back to work. And they were ordered back to work until I think it was May, and tried to get their contract differences resolved, but it didn't get resolved. And they say now they're out, and from the sounds of things, the government wants to do things like end home delivery and have post boxes that we'll have to go to collect our mail at. And of course the carriers don't want that, and they want to bring in part-time workers, and they want to have them work weekends, and the sides are so far apart. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath that it's going to be resolved anytime soon. I hope it is, but I don't think it will. Now I just got to figure out how to get this thing apart. I got to get this board out of here so I can get this dead IC out, and then we can swap it out for the new one and see whether it restores the radio. It doesn't, I mean, it's got to be held in somehow, but I don't see any screws or anything through. Oh, there's a screw down here. There's probably a couple screws through the board that hold it in place, and then hopefully the board will lift out, and hopefully it will lift out and leave this part still attached. It looks like that faceplate is attached with separate screws. I don't want to have to redo the dial string. Now I don't know that this is going to actually fix this. I'm hoping that it is. I know I've got sound over here at the volume control. We checked that part out, so I know that there is sound making it through. But I don't know whether this board has got any damage to it. There, look at that. Alright. Okay, let's remove this. I'm going to put my chisel or my fine point soldering tip on, and we're going to remove that IC and swap it out for the new one. We're going to use wick this time, because this is a relatively fine board. Just like that. And of course the pins get bent. Of course, when this unit was manufactured, the pins were all preset at the proper gap to insert into the board, but it looks like it's been kind of crushed in the mail, so we have to get the pins to line up and go through the board. Oh, I think I got lucky. I think they all went through. Let's just double check to make sure all the pins are in through the board. It looks like they are. If I wiggle it, I can see all the pins moving. Okay, excellent. All the pins are in their correct place. Let's weld it down. My roll of solder is getting pretty low, but I've got another one here, so no big deal when it runs out. Okay, I think that's good. The old IC with the hole burned in it. Some corrosion right here, right where the battery terminal is. We'll just resolder that. I think I got it. Set the unit back into the case and we'll power it up and see what happens. I'll plug in some headphones or plug it into my amplifier using the headphone output because it has a switch in it, so it won't turn on if there's not something plugged in. That's to save the batteries when you're using it as a portable. Positive. Negative over on this one. Set for 3 volts. Now let's see if we get anything. We receive anything. I don't hear anything. I know I was getting the stereo light lighting up before when I was tuning into my little test transmitter. I don't see that coming on. I'm giving it 3 volts. And it's drawing 0.06 amps, so there is some power consumption. I wonder if this resistor is open. I was getting voltage on both sides of it before, but it might be, now that the IC is replaced, we may not be seeing any voltage across it. So let's just see whether we're getting any power across that resistor between negative and so it is dropping, which is what it's supposed to do, but it's not open. So I would expect that I would hear something, but I'm not. I mean, you can tell that it's plugged in. Nothing. No sound. Well, let's see if the amplifier is working first of all. I would say that the amplifier is working. In fact, it'll pick up my little radio transmitter that's on the other side of the shop that's broadcasting my my stuff. So we know the amplifier is working. It's got power, but the radio itself is not doing anything. Let's put the scope on, see if we can get anything coming off the radio section. That's just picking up AM signals. That's nothing else. It's not the radio. I'm just kind of looking at the scope now. I'm not showing you guys it because there's nothing to see. I'm just looking at various points to see if I can see any audio or anything. I should have a station right down at the bottom here. I am seeing IF signals on this IF amplifier, so I know the signal's making it through here. But on AM mode, see if there's anything on AM. Shortwave, that's regular AM. Like, I don't hear any static or anything. I should hear static. I hear nothing. The only time I hear anything is if I put my finger around the audio amplifier and it's rectifying the RF that's flying around here because it's fairly strong. Got to be something that's open. Got to be an open connection somewhere and it's not getting power. But where? I know that that FM stereo light was lighting up before. I don't think it's this resistor that's gone bad either. Because if it was open, I'd have no voltage on either. I'd have no voltage on one side. I think that resistor burned up like that when the IC shorted. When this IC shorted and burned up, it burned that resistor, but it did not burn it open. That's just interference. I'm just kind of probing around here and I see noise here. I think the volume control is foobarred. You know that? I think this volume control is foobarred. What happens if I just short... I'm on AM, so I'm not going to pick up anything other than probably static, but what if I do that? Aha! What if I do that? Aha! Alright, let's go to FM and see whether it'll pick anything up. Probably have static. And of course there's nothing. I'm just going to bypass that control for now because the control is dead. I don't know where to even find one of those, but I'm just going to put a bridge in here. We got the power disconnected right now to do this. I'm just going to put a bridge in here to put this volume all the way up. Just to see if we can get some sound. I'll just use some of this stuff. That's easy to remove. I found the IC for it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to find a control. But we'll just bridge so it's up all the way and give it full volume just for this test. I suspect what happened is when the IC failed, it burned the controls out, sent DC through them and burned the controls out. I have an annoying person. They keep sending me text messages with Instagram links that I could care less about. I don't have Instagram, but I have a friend that seems to think that I want to see every goddamn thing he sends me. And I was ignoring him on Messenger, so now he's sending me text messages.
The National Day for Truth and Reconciliation.
Into a writer vanished on a psychedelic road trip, and a million expectations, earnings per share.
What about FM? Oh, actually is picking up something.
Race of the oven. Ouch! You're careful when using a sharp knife. And you don't drive without...
Well, it works. I don't have an antenna on here, that's why. I guess it uses the power or the audio cable as the antenna. I think that's what it does.
So here's to the journey where the lessons unfold.
Mono.
Every tear, every laugh, it's a treasure to hold.
Okay, well,
You'll rise from the ashes.
we know that this thing works. That's good.
Just wait and see.
That's good.
You'll understand the meaning. Oh, darling, just believe.
The volume control is toasted.
You'll never understand till you understand. But I'll be here waiting. Just take my hand.
Wonder if it can be cleaned. Oh, don't want to leave that on. Away. Let your story unfold. No more straight lines.
Let the freedom flow.
See if I can get that volume control. Try cleaning it. Now that we know that we got sound, let's just see if we can get the volume control to work. I know I confused a bunch of people when I was talking about my little AM transmitter sending my created content that I created for my channel so that I don't get hit with copyright bullshit from people that make fake claims. I have my tunes, some that I wrote and some that were AI generated. Like a few of them I just let the engine do everything. Others I wrote my own lyrics and put them in. I just have them playing on a little FM transmitter, and I have a little FM receiver that receives that signal and sends it to my AM transmitter so that I can test AM radios. That's why you heard it when I was just touching it. It wasn't actually coming from going through the volume control. It was just induction. I've turned that one off. I've turned the AM transmitter off because it causes interference to everything like my scope and stuff. Yeah, that control is just completely shot. There's nothing. You can see it, the stereo light's on. Picking up signal, there ain't nothing there. So I gotta find a control. That control is probably available, I just don't know where to get one. I don't know where to get one where we can afford it. I can't afford to order one from DigiKey because the cost of shipping it would be astronomical. I mean, obviously the control can be bypassed. That will work. It won't work if you're going to use it with headphones as a Walkman, though. Would like to get the control for it if I can find one. But we know that part needs to be, we need to change that. That's for sure. Otherwise, we're not going to get any sound. Let's see. That's just interference I'm picking up. But if I bridge it, right? What I'll do is just for now, because I'm not going to obviously finish this tonight. But we now know that the radio works. We need to try to find a volume control for it. And I'll have to do some research on that and see if I can find one, or find one in something used. But for now, I'm going to throw this together. I'll just put a little jumper in place there just so that it works for demonstration. And if I can't find a volume control, then maybe it'll have to stay like this. This will wait until I get the parts in for the tape decks, because to say the parts are on order, or they're on their way. They're just stuck in the mail now. They would have been here had the post office not destroyed the package and lost the 6 belts. And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt to say that it got caught in some machine and got damaged, and not that somebody saw it was coming from KP Electronics and thought maybe there might be something in there that they would like, and removed the belts, and then oh, it got damaged. I would never accuse someone at the post office of pilfering mail. It just kind of seems odd that the belts would all disappear, but the IC made it through. Just saying. I don't know if you guys find that a coincidence or what. You know, that I just find that's just too much of a coincidence that the IC made it through. I find that a coincidence, and maybe you guys will find it a coincidence too. The belts are parts that people can use for fixing tape decks and stuff, but that IC is kind of a very specific part that is really only needed for in a case like this where a part was actually burnt up. And the belts could be used in many different devices, and I just find it kind of odd that 6 belts, 3 separate packages with 2 belts in each, that 6 of them, like 3 packages out of 4 inside that envelope went missing, and the one part that made it through is the part that would have the least value to anybody else. Just saying. Anyway, this part is working. I got to get a volume control. We now know that that's bad, but the rest of it works. That's good. We'll we'll pick this up again when I get the other parts in, and we'll do those. And maybe the volume controls are bad on those too. We might be trying to source 3 of them, because again, I haven't had any sound out of the others yet either. This is my song here. This is one I wrote about my bill going up. I hit everybody. I hit the phone companies. I hit the electric company. I hit the price of gas, the gas pumps playing a game. I hit the price of groceries. I hit everything on this one. Anyway, we're going to close this one off now. I'm going to throw this back together for now because there's nothing more I can do with it today. But we got that part working, and that's the first step. We at least know the radio works. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.